Hey everyone, I'm Lisa with Made to Create with Lisa. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 7 of the Great North American Stampin' Show. It has been a busy season and we have been going back and forth on who's been winning each week's competition. And this past week, Julie absolutely crushed us all. Honestly, I don't even remember what she made because I have been out of the country and I did not watch her video. However, I'm sure it was good. But I did miss the week that I should have been able to wear my crown. So I'm just going to pretend like I'm wearing it just because I feel like I deserved to wear it even though I missed it. Okay, anyway, welcome back to episode 7. Tonight, we are using our holiday mini catalog on page 35 for our inspiration. That page shows a piece of home decor, and we're actually not even really using that as inspiration. We're just saying a blanket statement, home decor night. So I've always really loved making home decor. I'm still trying to get back in the groove of things, and so it was actually kind of hard for me to come up with something for tonight, but I think you'll like what I came up with, and I'm excited to show it to you. So let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so this is page 35 of the holiday mini catalog, and we saw that it had this home decor piece on it, which is totally beautiful. I love it, and it's actually super, super easy to make, so you should totally try that. This is a gift item, and they were great inspiration pieces. So we decided to just challenge each other to make some home decor and have some fun with it. So I started out with a little frame from the Dollar Tree, and this I got several years ago, and it's just in my stash. I'm sure that they sell something similar, so just go to the Dollar Tree and see what you can find. This particular one is able to pop out that bottom piece. So I'm going to put the frame aside for now. And so I am going to use the bottom piece to build up my my image. Okay, so this is what we are using tonight. I'm using the Snowflake Kisses and the Snowy Delights. And then I am using the matching dies. So this die here, I absolutely loved, and that is what I'm using for the focal point for tonight's piece. So I'm starting out with this gorgeous paper. It is, can you see those embossed snowflakes on it? Honestly, I don't remember what it's called, so I'm not going to try to make that up. I'll have it in the description. So I cut a piece that exactly matched the backing, okay? And I could glue it onto it, but there's really no need. It's going to go into the frame just fine. Okay, and so what I did is I used the gigantic die here to cut out a snowflake out of pecan pie. Now, what I thought would be really fun to do would be to use the pecan pie to make it look kind of like a gingerbread man. I guess not really a gingerbread man, just gingerbread, like gingerbread cookies. So I'm pulling out my craft ink. I'm going to give it a shake here. I'm pulling out my craft ink re-inker, okay? This goes with our white pad, ink pad. And what I'm going to do is just put a little blob here. I don't need very much. And I am going to pull out my Take Your Pick tool. Now I put the embossing end in here, and see how there's a larger end and a smaller end, and I'm choosing to use the smaller end. And what I'm going to do is just dip in here and make my gingerbread design. And obviously you could do this however you want. I wanted to make sure that there was lots of ink wherever I touch. So I'm doing a lot of, picking up a fresh blob instead of doing lots of dots at once. And I'm just going to go around. You could do your design however you want it. keep wanting to dot twice, but I know that I need a lot of ink on there, so I think it's best to keep picking up ink with each dot. Okay, I'm trying to see if I missed anything here. I think I missed these ones. Did I miss any others? I think that's pretty good. I think that's good. Okay, so that's where I will leave that for now, all right? And then to make sure that it stays nice and bright, this ink does like dry, you know, soak into the cardstock. So I find it best to emboss. So I'm going to use our white embossing powder, and we will sprinkle embossing powder onto those little dots. Okay, give it a little flick. I don't want to hit any of my dots. I think that's good. Okay, and so that's what I'm going to do with that. Let's get that out of the way. And then I'm going to pull out my tweezers so I can hold it. Okay, and we are going to emboss that. So let me get out my embossing heat gun. Now these dots, because they are kind of a big dot of ink, it does take a minute to dry them. And it's actually kind of hard for me to tell when it's done. I have to kind of look really closely. And I know you're not necessarily going to be able to see that on camera very well, but I'm just trying to look at it and see when I can see that it's getting glossy and not grainy anymore. Like I said, it's just because I have such a big blob of ink on there, which normally when you stamp, you wouldn't have such a big blob. But, whew, that's hot. I wanted this to look like little dots of frosting, right? Like on a gingerbread house or a gingerbread man. So obviously you could use, you know, acrylic paint. You could use anything you want, but I, of course, am using our Stampin' Up products to be really inventive, right? Aren't you impressed? Okay. So I'm going to get that all melted. I'm just about done. I think I can pretty much tell when they're done. I'm glad. Okay, and there it is. Now, because those are blobs and now they're embossed, they're kind of raised. I don't know if you can tell that. And that actually looks super cool. So I am pleased with that. Okay, so now, let me move this out of the way. Now, what I'm going to show you that I already did in advance is I die cut out several more. Can you tell that these are stacked on top of each other? I think I did 5 total. There's either 5 or 6 total once I add this. Now the reason I did that is because now it is way thicker than just one piece of paper. Okay, so that is why I die cut out several pieces of the pecan pie, and now I am gluing them all together. Now I have my Tombow glue in this little squeezy bottle thing. It's easier for me to control, and so that is what I'm using to do this. Now I know you're going to tell me, hey, you could have used adhesive sheets to do this. The answer is yes, I could have. However, the reason that I really didn't is because they're kind of hard to, because there's so many different little arms. What do we call them? Not stems. Snowflake facets. I don't know. Anyway, each little branch of the snowflake. If I would have used the adhesive sheets, you know, they're like stickers, and I think that it doesn't give me, it's not forgiving, you know, once it sticks, it sticks. And these kind of have to be slid around just a tad. And so I really wanted to be able to use liquid glue. So this is just my Tombow green glue in this little squeezer handle thing. Okay, so I'm gonna put this aside here. Hold on, I'm putting on the lid. All right. So now I'm gonna take my Snowflake, line it up the best I can here, and layer it on. Now, if you could see this close up, you can see that I have some little squirts of glue sticking out, but that's fine. They will turn clear when they dry. You can also kind of try to stick your fingernail in there or whatever if you want, but when I glued all the other ones together, they've already glued clear. They look great, so I'm not worried about it. I am getting glue all over my fingers though. How's that? All right, just doing a little cleanup work here. There's nothing you can do about that. You kind of have to do it. You want to do it before it dries, so that you make sure all your little branches are lined up really well. And there it is. Now, like I said, I'm not really sure if you can see on camera how thick it is, but it looks really cool because it's really, really thick. It's like you cut it out of cardboard or something, which honestly, this die is so fine, I don't think that you could cut it out of cardboard. I don't think that the die would really work. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount this onto our background piece. So I can actually use just my normal Tombow here. Whoa, okay, that was an excessive amount of glue. Let me try to clean some of that up. I have no idea why it did that. Nothing to see here, folks. Okay. All right, so I think that's enough glue. Let's go ahead and should we do it straight or kind of at an angle? I think I kind of have to put it at an angle. I don't want it too straight. I think that would be too formal. We want it to be snowy, kind of playful a little bit. Okay, so we'll let that dry. And then what I have that we're gonna kind of dress it up is, let me show you this die that I used from the Snowflake Kisses. I used this one and cut out all these little snowflakes. So let me find them here. Here we go, all these little snowflakes. Now I die cut these out of the foil paper that's called, it's called something like Earthen Metallics or something. It's kind of bronze. It's very deep, kind of copper, but kind of bronze. It's really, really pretty. So I'm gonna sprinkle these around. I'm gonna lay them down first so that I know how I want them to lay. And then I can play with it. Then I can glue it down. I think I'm gonna do it like this. I kind of played with this before and I came up with a way I liked it, but of course I don't remember what that was. Okay, what do you think of that? I think that that's gonna be cute. So let's go ahead and glue these on. I don't know if you're one of those that likes to use things like tweezers or whatever. You totally could. If this is kind of, hard for you to handle, tweezers would totally work for stuff like this. Honestly, I just kind of go for it. No one's gonna know if it was messed up. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. And that's it for that. Okay. So now I wanted to put like a little sentiment on there. So I'm going to put this aside. I'm going to bring back in my embossing stuff. And let me show you the die that I used. I used this here to die cut out this one. And so that is using the same, what did I call it? Earthen Metallics foil paper, okay? And I am going to do my very best. I gotta find my Versamark pad here. I'm gonna do my very best to not smudge this. It is slippery because it's foil paper, so you gotta be really careful. So I'm laying it down and trying to lift it straight back up. So we'll see how I did. I am going to get my tweezers back out. And we're gonna sprinkle our powder on here. Hey, not bad. Okay. You kind of don't really know if you've smudged it until you put the powder on. Okay, and when I do this stuff, I like to get just a really cheap paintbrush that's really fine and take off my stray little pieces of embossing powder. And because this is such dark colored, I really want to make sure that I get that off of there, because otherwise you'll see it. Almost done. I don't know if you can even see that on the camera. You can totally see it in person that there are some flecks on here. So I just want to make sure that that looks good, okay? Because if I'm going to put this as my home decor, I want to make sure that it looks good. Nope, one more, sorry. One more right here. There we go. Okay, so now let's put that aside and let me get back out my heat tool. We'll get that embossed. It's already kind of hot, so it should go faster here. There it goes. All right, is it done? I think that's it. Okay. So now we have our little sentiment. And I will, sorry, I have a little piece on here that I'm kind of trying to scratch off with my nail. I don't like that. Hold on. I'm gonna see if, oh, hey, it came off. Yes, I was hoping it would since it's foil. Okay, I thought that I would put that down there, but you know what? Let's go ahead and put it in the frame first. Before I commit to my placement on that. So I'm going to stick this down in here. Whoops, come on. Shimmy it in there. Keep that energy, man. Okay. Okay. And then we will mount that down there. So I definitely want to use dimensionals on that. So let's put our dimensionals on there. Okay, it's coming together. All right, and now every good home decor piece, in my humble opinion, has a bow. So I got several different, like, kind of natural pieces. Now, I was afraid that this would be too gold, but I thought since it was so woven that maybe it would just bring in the sparkle. This is on the clearance rack right now, and so it's still available. Let's just see if we like it, okay? So I am going to cut us 2 pieces of this. We can always take it out if we don't like it, okay? Then I thought that this would be a good natural color. We're gonna do just one of our crisscross bows here. All right, I'm gonna use some white. This is also on the clearance rack, the white woven ribbon, which I love this ribbon. I'm sad that it's going away. And then this one is also gold, but again, it's woven and mesh. And I thought that maybe, I thought that maybe you wouldn't notice that it was gold instead of, you know, the copper. I'm gonna use this to tie our knot. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here to make our bow is I'm gonna make crisscrosses. I'm gonna make those gold ones in the background. Let's do these ones next. Whoop. Okay, I have way too much texture going on here. Everything's catching on each other. Okay, you just crisscross your bow pieces like this. Drop this one on the floor, okay? And then we'll use this to tie it. So I'm gonna take the stack, turn it over, and tie a knot. See how that looks kind of fun and crazy? Uh-oh, now where did my ends go? I totally don't know where they went. I was gonna say, well, I can just leave it, but I think I need to tie it in a knot. Okay, here it is. There's my end. There we go, these are my ends. All right, I need to tie it in a knot just because I'm afraid it's gonna come loose. There we go. Okay, I can still leave my ends on there because they totally blend and go match the whole thing. And we will layer it up there. So now we're gonna use, I like to use my hot glue to kind of glue that down. I wanna trim some of my edges on here. It's a little bit long. So let's trim some of these down. It's a little bit long. Now, when you're making home decor, it does take a little bit longer, but honestly, I pull out my home decor pieces every year. You know what I mean? Like, they're just so much fun, and I know I made them myself, and so it's just worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it to just take some time and make some really cute home decor, and that's gonna be adorable. Okay, you know what I really feel like I'm gonna love on there? I think I'm going to love another white bow on top of that. Maybe I'm not, but maybe I will. So I'm going to make a regular bow because I think that's going to be a really cute accent. So let's see what we think after I adjust the size. See, I think that's going to add. So with home decor, you just kind of keep playing with it, keep layering, keep having fun. See how that's going to be a cute accent. So let me see if my hot glue is hot. Oops, sorry, I just bumped that. Okay, it's not hot quite yet, so hold on. We need to let that warm up a little bit more. I think I'm going to turn this over on this side. Okay, so that's that. And then the last thing that we're going to do is I bought these at Hobby Lobby a couple years ago. They always have them, so I can't imagine that they wouldn't have them if you went and looked for something like this. They come in little trays like this. And I love that they're wood and that they have all these different shapes. So I thought this would be a cute one, and the wood just kind of goes with the whole vibe. It goes with these wood beads on top. So I was thinking of painting it, but I actually think that I love the wood vibe just the way it is. Let's look at this one. This one might be cute too. I'm trying to leave Yeah, that's a little bit large. I don't really like that one. I think I like that one. Oh, but this one's cute too. Okay, let's look at that one too. I don't know, I might need to pop this open. I don't really want to because I like how it's holding all these in. Oh, see, I like that one better. Okay, see, you can keep changing your mind as many times as you want. Okay, so now let me see if my hot glue is hot enough. Yes, okay. So we are going to, where should we glue it? I think I want to glue it there. So I'm going to put on a really generous blob of glue. And we will glue it on there like that. Okay. Then I will put another blob on top of that. And we'll glue that bow on top. Okay. And then we're going to glue this on there as our finishing touch. I think I'm going to kind of go around the edge. You might still see it a little bit, but that's okay. You won't really notice. We'll press that on. Just hold that for just a second. And you know what? I kind of think that I want a little gem in the middle there. So let me grab a gem. Okay, what do you think of these? These were the two that I was choosing between. I loved this because of the sparkle and their snowflakes, but I feel like it's silver. So I feel like it might look wrong. Let's look. Let's see what we think of the silver. It actually doesn't look bad because it looks kind of just shiny and fun. So we're gonna go with it, peeps. Whoops. Moving it all over the place. Okay, I think I like it. Okay, and that's it. So this is my home decor piece. You can use it as a leaner on a shelf. That's what I do with pieces like this. I think that they are absolutely beautiful to use as home decor around the house. Okay, so what do you think? I hope you love it. And you can see how easy it is. I mean, it takes a little bit of time, but it's fun. It's fun to put together home decor pieces. The one thing I love about home decor is you can use all kinds of texture. And I think for me, I feel like that's the key. Use lots of different texture. The different texture of all the different ribbons, the wood, the paper, the foil, like it all balances out to make a finished product that is absolutely beautiful. So I hope you like what I made tonight. Be sure to watch the other ladies' videos to see what they came up with. I'm sure that it's fabulous. And again, we just appreciate you being here again this week. I hope you're getting lots of ideas for the Christmas holiday season. And who knows, maybe there's still some fall left in there. I don't know what the other ladies made. But anyway, thanks again for being here. We'll see you again. Watch all the videos and give a thumbs up for your favorite. Talk to you again soon.